Hola, hola. Welcome to Black Canvas. Today with us is Matty Smith.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for making some time. Your busy time to come.
It's very exciting. I'm honoured to be on here.
Oh,
Very
thank
cool.
you. He's a very close friend. And he's giving us today, he bring us as a gift, tequila. My
Yeah.
favorite drink ever.
I'm starting to regret it now.
So we're definitely doing a shot.
Okay.
Just think that it's 6 p.m. right now.
Well, it is somewhere.
How did you know this was my first tequila? Like my favorite tequila, actually, brand.
From Simon.
Simon?
I had to do the tricky old, don't tell her. I'll just quick little message. Don't tell her what's her favourite.
No, did you drink tequila?
No.
No? What's your favorite?
Once.
Okay.
It was one and done for me.
One and done? We'll do one.
Well, it's a
To wake you
special
up.
occasion, so it's a bit different.
That's true. What's your favorite spirit if you have to choose one?
Jeez. I mean, it's like you can't go wrong with a good whiskey.
Okay.
A nice whiskey and Coke, you know.
I can see you with whiskey, though. You give me that vibe of
But
like
I'm
a
definitely
whiskey.
more of a lolly water kind of guy.
Like, what's the name of these like vodka
Like
slushes?
the vodka slushies.
I don't know, the vodka thing, crushed. What's the name? The brand that is like a colorful bottles with like vodka.
Like cruisers.
Cruises.
Yeah, that's
Yuck.
easy. They're easy.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Like, we're not 18 anymore.
What if I want to be?
No, yuck. Let's give you like the worst hangover ever. Okay, so this is for you. You can come closer. That's tajin. So like a salty chili if you
Okay.
want to try some.
You lead the way.
Yeah, I just normally will put some in my hand. This is how I do. We don't have lime. It's all right.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Okay, cheers
Yes.
for this episode. Fuck, it's so smooth. It's good.
God damn.
Your face is like, fuck this.
I'm awake now. Jeez.
Yep, we're awake. So how have you been?
Good.
Good?
It's been a bit of a rough year, but it has been for everybody. You know, it's been a bit tricky, you know,
We're pushing it.
but we're pushing through, we're surviving. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no other thing that I'd rather be doing, so I want to stay where I am and keep pushing myself, but you're going
That's
to go
true.
through these slow periods and these rough times, but
Yeah.
you know, you got the good clients that are very consistent and they always come back and they're very supportive, no matter
Yeah.
if they're coming in to get tattooed or even if they're just liking and sharing my posts and trying to get my name out there for their friends and other people.
100%. Yeah.
So very appreciative for that and people who have helped me and supported me through the hard times.
That's beautiful.
But it's definitely picked up towards the end of the year and I think got a good feeling for next year.
Same. Fuck, I want to finish this year. That's what I want to do.
That's what we
Finish and start fresh.
That's what we say every year, and then it's the same
True.
again. So
100%.
you can never really know. But if you go in with a positive mindset and just work hard, then
100%. Yeah.
things are going to work out in the end,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Marty, tell us a little bit about your style, your amazing style.
My amazing style.
Yeah, I will
Thank
put some
you.
photos over here. You guys checked,
Beautiful. Yeah, so I just specialise in black and grey realism. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that I've always been passionate about with my drawing and my art.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks cool. I just love
Yeah.
it. So there's been a bit of it was like a period of time where I wasn't overly happy
Mm-hmm.
with the style that I was doing and you know, you're comparing yourself to other people and
We
other
all
artists
do.
and you try and
Yeah.
replicate what they're doing, but I think just coming to terms with this is how I do things and this is how I draw and how I tattoo, then
Mm-hmm.
you know you start accepting it and then you build off what you've started and it starts to
Yeah.
sort of grow from there, which is nice. I've definitely started seeing that more this year, if anything. Just sort of
That's great.
yeah. So this is how I do it and this is how I tattoo. So
Yeah.
it's been nice to sort of develop my own kind of style. Like you always want to be one of
Yeah.
those people that
It's kind of like the dream of every artist.
yeah.
Do you want to reach the style that you're so happy, comfortable, that you create those pieces and then people value them and then you finally start to get to book
And
people
I
with
think it's that
those.
thing of someone walking down the street and like, oh, that's a Matty Smith tattoo. Like that kind of
Yeah.
feeling
You
is
leave a
what I'm
sign.
going for. So
That's great.
just having your own style, like
Yeah.
in particular, that people can sort of point out and recognize.
Yeah. Would you say it's a little bit of like a horror style vibe as well?
I mean, I've definitely leaned more towards the darker side and the horror stuff, but just anything realism. And
Yeah.
as long as I can be somewhat creative with the pieces that I do, then I'll do
Amazing.
whatever.
Great. How long you been in the industry for?
It's been 9 years.
9
I hit
years.
9 years in November. So
Okay.
it's crazy. I'm nearly at the Big 10. I
Fine.
just never thought I'd make it this far.
Yeah.
But here we are. So
That's great. 9 years. 9 years. A lot of things change in 9 years.
yes.
Today's episode, we're gonna talk about mentorship because
Yep.
I know when I was working with you at this studio, I saw you as a part of the guys leading the mentorship. So we just wanted to run us through how was the process to become a mentor, how was being an apprentice back in those days.
Okay.
Because we talk a little bit about not having iPad, having the time to
yes.
draw more.
A lot of work, a lot of extra work on top of things, but it's good because it helps you develop.
100%. Yeah.
You need to do that, the pencil and paper kind of thing first. I think it just gets you a feel for drawing, and it's always a good start. And
Yeah.
you can't be a good tattooer without being a good drawer. So
That's true.
it's just
So during your apprenticeship, you have to do a lot of drawing.
yes.
Get the draw ready, put it in an extra paper, have the stencil
Yep.
ready. The client showed up. It's like, I don't want that anymore.
Yep, print out the references again. Get the tracing paper out.
Yeah.
So
Pain in the
you have to be
ass.
pretty spot on. But I think it's more of the consultation. Like that was a big thing back then as well for me. So
that's true.
So having people come in first prior to their appointment or when they book in,
Yeah.
that's sort of when you make sure that design's going to be exactly what they want, because you have to be spot on when you're printing everything off. It's not as easy as quickly changing it on an iPad and I'll just get this and I'll get that.
Which my generation is very grateful of it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I think a lot of things are now for granted. There's not much care and like value.
Because it's quick and easy now.
Yeah, and what do you think? Like, I agree that you should grow and move with the technology. Like, use the
Absolutely.
technology as a tool to make you better.
I mean, if there is ways to make things quick and easy,
Why not?
Like you said, if someone comes in and wants to change something, it's a lot easier to do it on the iPad. You find the reference, you quickly stencil it up on your iPad. It's pretty easy. So I'm all for efficiency. That makes it
Great.
makes life a lot easier. Makes the experience a lot easier for the clients as well. But yeah, it's crazy that everything's online now. Like, there are certain artists that still do consults and stuff. Like, I try my best, but not a lot of people have the time to come down for however long it's going to take. So everything's just online over Instagram.
Do you know what I was doing now? Like, I agree with you. Like, consults, I didn't know was a big thing, which it makes heaps of sense.
Yep.
You need someone to come in, check like the length, how it is, even the skin, how it's gonna go. Giving some tips like, hey, put some cream before you come in.
Yeah, if they got dry skin, moisturize,
exactly.
like, stuff like that. It's a lot easier. Skin tone is a big thing because that can affect the design in certain aspects and the contrast.
And you put a face on the person that is talking to you.
Yeah, and you get to meet, and they get to meet you and make sure that they're comfortable with you as well as an artist, and they know that they've made the right choice by choosing you. So consults are definitely huge.
They're come
very
back.
important. I think so.
They should come back. I think it give you. What I've been doing lately is like doing even FaceTime.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you got 1 hour of not even 1 hour, it's like 5 minutes of your day, lunch break at work, give me a FaceTime, show me the piece, like we'll talk. I tell you what I do, because I think it make it more intimate and more.
Absolutely.
They feel more comfortable. You feel more comfortable.
Because especially if it's not a regular of yours, if it's a new person who's found your work, maybe through a promotion or through friends of friends, then meeting you is going to make them feel more comfortable for the experience, which comfortability is massive
100%.
in our industry. It's a pretty nerve-wracking thing. It's a lot of trauma and all kinds of pain. So if they feel comfortable with you as an artist, then that whole process becomes a lot easier. It's just you want to be making friends, not clients. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And at first, I think I was a little bit. Again, like I came from like my industry that I used to work was all over the place, but like I came from like very hospitality, very like on and off, like rush it out. Like, I'm just serving you. You're gonna leave. I'm here because I need the money, but I'm really not very keen to serve people because it's very like toxic and
They
people
want what
doesn't
they want.
respect you as
Customers
well.
always right.
Exactly. But in this industry specifically, like it's very harsh. And then jump into this one, I was like, the clients are there because they choose you, and
Yes.
they so grateful that you took in the time to tattoo them.
That's it.
And that's amazing. Like that's when you, at first I was very like, oh, I don't know what to talk. Like this is so hard. Like
Yeah, the
fuck, it's
small
4
talk
hours.
can be pretty hard at
Hey, the
times.
small talking.
Depending on who it is. Like you might
Yeah.
get people who you click. It's so easy, and then other people you're not too sure if you want to.
100%.
Like, am I annoying you if I talk to you too much? Like.
Yeah, and then I probably say of my clients, I have 5 that they're so close now. Like
Yeah.
I have thrown so many traumas in their chat. They have given me so many traumas.
Yeah, it's almost illegal hearing some of the stuff that people
Yeah,
talk to you about.
100%. Like if you at the end, we're gonna ask you a little bit of horror stories with clients, but
Okay.
we can mute names, no names out there.
Oh no, definitely
But
not. Definitely not.
we love our stories. We talk so much shit about.
I got some stories.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'll be careful.
But jumping about your mentorship, for how long were you doing? Was it like the first studio we were together? Was the first time you were a mentor? Oh,
I'm pretty sure. So I
Okay.
think I was at the other studio for a year, maybe over, before I got asked to do it. So that was a pretty scary kind of thing to get thrown into. You know, I've always been a bit self-conscious about my own work, so putting the pressure of somebody learning off you, and you know, you got to be really careful about what you teach them and make sure that they're getting the right information. And so it's a lot of pressure, and having so many at the one time was pretty hard too, because you're trying to give everybody the exact same amount of time and care.
okay. How many did you have?
I think at one period it was 7.
Wow.
But I had obviously we had a team, so there was 2 others that were also doing things behind the scenes. But it's just it's hard.
Yeah, 7 students is a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, the ones who were learning all the basic stuff first, all the medical stuff and all that, and then it goes into helping them draw and giving them homework and teaching them the different styles of the industry and just making sure that they're not trying to focus on the one thing, because obviously you need to try everything first.
Yeah.
And see if you like something.
Yeah, 100%.
And then after that, it's getting them onto the skin, and it's
Stay
scary.
with them. Trust the
Very
process,
scary.
I guess.
It's you can only tell them so much. Like you can guide them through things, but in the end, they're the ones holding the machine, and they're the ones putting something on someone's skin forever. So
Yeah.
you got to trust in what you've taught them, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very hard. I know when we talked in the last episode with Tanya, I know that you were one of Tanya's mentor
Yes,
as well.
I was.
Yeah, I know. I experienced that. That was very pretty. And then we talk about like how some studios have a process and at times, you know, like in my case, it was like 5 months.
Yeah.
But I did during COVID. Like
Yes.
I was doing a little bit more
Pretty rough,
drawing.
yeah.
5 months in the studio doing the non-payment
Yep.
cleaning and setup and everything. Now this studio was doing it for over 9 months.
9 months, yeah. And that's if you followed the structure.
What do you think about
and-
that as a mentor? Is it necessary to have 9
I think
months?
having the schedule and the guidelines, I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, organization.
I think more time is better, because you want to obviously make sure that they're at the right stage. Like, you know, it may be structured as 9 months, but if their drawings aren't up to standard, then you kind of have to push back, because although it seems unfair, you're putting artwork on someone's body forever. So
Yeah, true.
you want to make sure that you're producing the best that you can. So that's what that whole sort of thing was. And I think it worked. It definitely worked. And we've got a lot of friends who can prove that. But some people just couldn't. Like, it's sort of, there was a make or break thing for sure.
Yeah, it's like the ones that push through are becoming an amazing artist. The ones that give up, amazing people, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, but maybe they need another style of.
But maybe it's just, maybe it wasn't the
Apprenticeship.
right studio.
Yeah,
Like, it all
which I
comes
agree
down
with
to that
it.
as well. If you don't gel with the studio, then you're less inclined to learn, really.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think time is very subjectable too, because what I did in 5 months, I feel like I didn't need it more than 5, because I could get
Yeah.
things very easy.
Yeah.
Like if you explain me 3 times max, I won't ask you because I know I'll get it. But some people out there need 5 times
Yeah.
to be explained full.
It's just, everybody's different. Everybody has their way of learning as well, and some people learn a little bit slower. I feel like I'm one of those people. It takes me a little bit of time to pick up on things,
Yeah.
but also that's not a bad thing. And
Yeah,
then
100%.
people who are just gifted and they can just pick it up super easy.
Yeah,
And I'm
and that's
a bit
fine.
jealous of those people. But that's right. But
It's
again,
alright.
we all learn at our own pace,
Yeah, I
and that's
think-
not a bad thing.
Have you found it as a mentor like easier to now kind of like recognize your students like, hey, maybe this one is getting into very quick. Let's focus on
Certain
that.
things, I think. I don't know. I just maybe it was because I was so ambushed by a lot of apprentices at the same time. So you got to be
7 is a lot.
You got to be like, okay, this person learns this way, so this is how I'm going to speak to them. This person learns this way, or like this person doesn't need as much attention because they're picking it up. Whereas I think if it was just one on my own, then I feel like it would be a lot easier. But I wouldn't really put a time frame on it.
True.
I think it's nice to have that finish line, but you sort of just have to play it by ear and see how they go.
So as a mentor, you recommend it out there, just focus on one person. You maybe do a better job with one because he could be with you one by one,
Yes.
check on everything, put attention to details, I guess.
Yeah.
Having 7 is a lot.
You sort of learn how they learn.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot easier. Whereas if you have 4 different apprentices, obviously we were in a group anyway, so it kind of made it a little bit easier. But I still feel like it was a little bit too much at the same time. Because like I said, people learn at different things and you have to speak to certain people different ways, and that gets a little bit confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you have that one person, just make sure you're comfortable with teaching someone first. 'Cause it was a pretty deep pool to be thrown into. Because I don't think I was ready to teach, and I still don't think I am.
Okay.
I think I can give the basics, which is pretty straightforward for us. But
I don't think so.
I think I need a little bit more time to, and then eventually I'll get into maybe bringing somebody in. But
I need to say you need to be self-aware that you're an amazing artist.
Thank you.
And like the fact, like we're gonna talk about as well, like then gatekeeping information in the industry is massive, and you are one of the persons that you're not, and that's very valuable. And maybe that's why maybe even if you had a team, in one point you felt like all the 7 went to you because you're very welcoming. Like even I went to you, and I wasn't even like an apprentice. I was like, Matty, tell me, like, is it straight?
It's
you know?
very cool. It's something that like I never thought would happen. Like you know, I just
So you didn't choose to be a mentor. They just told you
no,
like, hey,
they asked me, and I said, well, why not? Like,
Okay.
I want to help out around the studio, and these guys are my friends. So
why
if
not?
I can help my friends and
that's
gain
very
a little
sweet.
bit of experience from that, then it's awesome. But yeah, it's still a weird thing for me.
Okay, now an uncomfortable question: did you got paid for being a mentor?
Why would you ask me that?
We want to know. I
did.
don't know. Okay.
So I got
It's good.
I got a little bit more on my percentage. So you know, having your cut.
Oh, you
from the
manage
shop.
it different, yeah.
And then we got $100 a week. So
That's
that was-
good.
I mean,
It's how it should be, though.
yeah. I mean,
You're helping the studio to grow, and like you're helping the studio to build these.
yeah.
these
So it was cool
studios.
to have that little bonus. But I think just the pressure. I think
As well, you guys have a lot of pressure.
It was a lot. Like it definitely drove me into the ground at some points. But
I saw
it
you
just
guys
gets
are staying late at night,
yeah, we had to
staying
do
even
regular
behind with
meetings
them.
and stuff like that, and so
Yeah.
it gets very exhausting. And I felt like at that time, I wasn't able to sort of produce my best or give my clients my best work because I had that in the back of my head, being like, I need to make sure that they're doing okay and they're coming over and showing you stencils and outlines and everything, making sure everything's okay, where you're trying to focus on the one thing. So having like 3 or 4 people come every 2 seconds is pretty hard.
That's fine. I'm glad. Like, I'm happy to hear that you got paid for it.
Yeah,
I think you
absolutely.
deserve it.
And I think even just experience was fantastic. So now I'm sort of comfortable. If I do eventually get another apprentice in, or if I want to take on my own, then I've kind of got a bit of knowledge and I can take the goods and the bads from what I've already done. So, but I'm very proud of the guys that I've taught.
100%.
They've done
I'm proud
so
of you
well.
too.
Thank you.
I can see it. Like, I can see the artist that, and I think it's like this father figure, and saying like, oh, see my kid walking now.
Pretty much. It's
like,
like
oh
a proud
my
parent
God.
moment. Yeah.
It's gonna have to get drunk and like
seeing
fucked up.
them on the machine for the first time is insane, and then
Yeah.
seeing all the work that they produce and everything, it's really cool because it's like a
Of
product
course,
of
it
you,
must be
and
amazing.
you sort of see little pieces of you and your knowledge in their work, which is really cool. So
now you're talking about like seeing all this person and going through that. What do you think about the old school method of the tough love of teaching someone during the apprenticeship? Do you agree with that? Was it your style, or you were like, maybe that's not
look,
the best it
sometimes
works?
you need to put your foot down.
Okay.
Because you need to be respected as a mentor, but you also need to have a good relationship with your apprentices as well. You want to make them stay around. You want to make them want to be there and work hard to make you proud, sort of thing. So, but there has been times where you got to say some things that make you look like the bad guy, but it is just tough love. Like, you try not to be an asshole about it, but
yeah,
if you're not doing the work and you're slacking off a little bit, we need to get you back in line. But it's all for the good of your career. We just want to see you be successful. And
yeah, I guess that's well, it all comes together to how you communicate.
yeah, absolutely.
Like you can be tough, saying the right words.
Yeah.
Not just yelling and being rude out there. Just like, hey, let's have a seat. This is happening. You've been a lack. What's happening? Like, why are you being lacking of this?
Yeah.
You've been down. Like you've been on the running low on your drawings. What's happening?
Yeah, it's really rough. And like I said, we had some times.
Is it something you experienced when you were apprentice back 9 years ago, or you think it's just like the rough love is still relevant now in this industry, or it's changing?
I think with my apprenticeship, it was just rough. It was just
not even a little bit of love.
Yeah,
it
was all tough, no love. But I mean, I still owe thank you to that studio for helping me, and I met my good friend Tom, who I'm working with currently.
Yeah,
I met him through that shop, so there's goods and bads.
Yeah.
But I mean, they still got me on the machine, and they still taught me everything that I know. So you gotta owe it to it. But I mean, a bit of tough love it's good. It goes a long way for sure.
Yeah,
I think you need it.
That's all we were saying before. It's like the old method. We were talking as well, like before cameras off, about like the mental health now in the industry. So I feel like based on that, because everything is self-aware, everyone is so self-aware now, is now changing. So even the way people speak to their apprentices is becoming more like maybe
it's getting hard.
It's more like we now have phones, we can record, like you never know.
Look, it's fine, and like we're both understanding of mental health, and it is a big thing in the world at the moment. But there's you just got to be really careful on how you talk to people now, and you're on thin ice a lot of the time with certain people and certain personalities, and I think that just comes down to finding the right studio.
So you think that, like, would you agree as well, like now everything is becoming more soft and they're more supportive now than back in like the time you did your apprenticeship 9 years ago?
I think so. I
I
definitely
agree
think
with
so.
that.
But
Which I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you definitely have to help these people, and especially if they're up and coming artists, the younger generation, all that kind of stuff. Like we want to keep this industry alive, and that's what's going to help is getting new artists in. But it is a tough industry, so not everything is meant in a hurtful way, and we're not trying to be bad guys or anything like that. We're not trying to intimidate anymore. We're just trying to make sure.
You guys look intimidated, but you're not. No, the teddy bears.
Absolutely. But I think it's
true.
it's just being a little bit more supportive.
Yeah.
But it kind of is what it is.
If
you find your people, and I think that's a big thing about researching where you're wanting to work. I think if you go to the wrong shop, then they might speak to you in a certain way that you don't like, and it can be a rough time. And we don't want anyone hating the industry at all.
Yeah.
I think it's already kind of got a little bit of a bad name in certain aspects. So
true.
I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but
we're jumping right in now is. Why do you feel like is now? Because I've seen a lot of mentors out there. Do you feel like the industry nowadays and today is having like a lot of unqualified people that are calling themselves mentors?
Yes, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. And considering how I felt, I feel like I wasn't ready. Like I said earlier, it's a lot to take on somebody and give your knowledge. And unless you have a certain amount of knowledge and you've been in the industry for a certain amount of time with experience, I don't think you should be taking anybody on. I think it's a bad move because it's so easy to teach somebody bad habits or not be aware of the bad habits, and a lot of it does come down to the cleanliness and the health and safety side of things that some people may be a little bit lazy with. And then just the quality of work. Like, you want things to last. Like, we don't want to see any bad tattoos.
Yeah.
So I think that's when you talk about, gatekeeping and stuff in the industry. Like, I think it's a...
Do you think it's come from that? Like, people want to the old school wants to do gatekeeping because they are...
I think certain people do, but my thought has always been, I don't understand why you would keep your knowledge from other artists, because at the end of the day, we're doing it for the clients. We want to produce the best work. So if somebody has a way to do things right or do things better or more efficient, then why would you not share that knowledge? I think then we're not going to have to deal with any bad tattoos anymore, and we don't have to deal with cover-ups. And
True. Now, that draws me to, wouldn't you think that it could be, I'm a mentor, I'm teaching this person is becoming fucking good, I need to hold my info back because maybe that tattoo artist is going to replace me.
But it has happened. It's happened a couple of times.
But don't you think it maybe could be from that ego side and like the how do you say, the being afraid of being replaced, or saying like, well, I open this window, I give you my hand, I'm telling you what to do. Maybe you're becoming better, because yes, that could happen. Like, I'm seeing apprentices nowadays that they have backgrounds already of art.
Yeah.
They're coming from fucking design unis and things like that, and they already have so much in their brain that is settled, like the basic of color contrast. They already have that from uni. They come and they become an amazing tattoo artist, which I'm so glad that that's changing from the industry now, because it's bringing the quality and the
artwork's just getting better and better, for sure.
Exactly. So everyone has to push. It's like,
I think if people are scared, or if mentors are scared of their artists getting too good, I think they just don't have the confidence in their own work. I think that's probably one of the best things to see. And I can speak for the guys that I've taught, and some of the work that they push out is crazy. And I wish I could do things like they do it. Obviously with different styles and stuff, but I'll look at their stuff on Instagram and I'll be like, oh, that's fantastic. Like, I love that.
How's that ever affect you, seeing that?
No.
Or you're just proud?
I've always been proud of it.
That's amazing.
I think it's
that's
fantastic.
the best way to take it, though.
That's all you want as a mentor, is for your apprentices and your friends to do the best that they can do. There's only been 2 times where but that's come down to price. That's a whole different ball game.
What happened?
It was, funny enough, it was Tonya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tonya.
I know.
I know.
It wasn't her fault.
She's amazing.
She just, 2 of my clients ended up booking in with her and cancelling the sessions with me, and it is what it is. If you like her style, or if you prefer her, or the price was a little bit better, I don't blame you. It's your body at the end of the day.
You don't own anyone.
No, it's your body.
Please, tattoo artists out there, you don't own anyone. Like, your clients can change, and that's fine, as long as there's always communication. And I always would check if that happened with my client. Hey, you're right, babe, because I just want an outcome and see like, did I did something wrong? Did I make you comfortable?
Yeah, just make sure you explain. Like, give us a reason. It's always a bit nicer, because then we're not going to be like, oh shit.
But at the same, like, you have this thing with Tonya, but you guys best friends, like super close friends.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't care.
There's nothing personal there, and maybe sometimes clients think that's like, oh shit, I'm going to this person and they were working together. I don't even want to show my face to the studio. They just do it all, hide it up.
Nah, it's fine. Like, it is what it is, and I've still got plenty of really, really good clients that come to me for my work. So if you're not happy with the style, or hopefully you weren't unhappy with the experience, because I try and give the best experience to everybody. But if that's what you prefer, then like, I don't own you.
So how did you manage that situation?
I just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if they don't have a reason or anything like that, then I'm not going to message and
Yeah, cool.
You know, if you have that choice, then that's your choice, and that's totally fine.
Again, no one owns anyone. So
No, it's like it can be a little bit upsetting to people, especially if they continue. Maybe you've got a project that you're working on, like a sleeve or something like that,
yeah,
and then
that's the little line.
they get it finished by somebody else, and it kind of sucks because it's what we've done and what we've produced, and it's something that we've been working on, and
It's that little
it's
like
just
fine line.
It's nice to be able to finish those things.
It's that fine line that in our workplace we have this little rule, like your client, my client, we all clients. It's a big family. But if I started a project, let me finish it.
Yes.
And I had that issue this year actually. One of my coworkers, now the lack of communication on the studio I used to work was disgusting, very bad. And then unfortunately it got overbooked to someone else.
Yeah.
That client, I was doing like a project already. Like we just have to finish the inner bicep.
Yeah.
Like I'm bad with parts of the body. And then I realized in my bookings that she's supposed to be booked with me, and she wasn't. And then I looked through the bookings, and she was booked with this person, and it says continuation of a piece, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why? What happened? And I contact, like, again, everything goes through communication. I went and I see my coworker because I knew it wasn't her trying to take this project. She just got put in.
Came down to the shop. Like, who needs the work? This person needs the work. We'll put
and
it
it just got put down in it. And then we talked, and it was amazing. Which she was like, "Whoa, I didn't even know. I saw my bookings coming in. And then I didn't know it was you because she couldn't keep track. Of course, you have your own tracking." And I said, "Yeah, unfortunately, like something I'm doing, and I really would love to finish it, but I don't know why she booked with you. Like, is it something the studio put it on you, which is totally fine." It ended up being because she had a special rate for that month.
Yep. See, price is a big thing.
But we're gonna talk about that because it's like, well, price, but at the same time, would you really, like, if I was doing a piece in my own body with someone, fucking even if it's a price, I'm not gonna finish it with someone else because you have the chances to, maybe we look like we have the same style, but it's gonna end up looking different.
Yeah, everyone's got their own little flair to their work.
100%. So I don't want to end up being like a crossover.
Yes, it's very disappointing. And like, look, it's totally fine if you see a better rate. It's no different to a sale.
Yeah.
Boxing Day sales, people go nuts.
Black Friday.
They're crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So with tattoos, because they're so expensive as it is,
100%.
if you want to go for a cheaper rate, there's no issue with that.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that.
It's totally fine. Like, you're gonna snatch up.
You're gonna make your
Everybody
own choices.
does.
But in this case, in specific, I was like, well, let's finish it together. And then she was sweet enough, my coworker, and she contacted the client and say like, "Hey, I know I got you booked for the next week, but I just realized this piece is still going on with Ali, and I just don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, just out of respect.
Doing it. Like, I'm sorry, like, I can still tattoo you, any others, which they did, and amazing, because I finished her arm and they set up a leg piece.
Was the rate difference much?
It was over $300 different.
Okay.
Yeah. Not much.
But also, you could have communicated with you and said, "Look, this is my budget."
She will come to me and say like, "Hey, we're already done like, I think it was like a 3 or 4 full days, which for me is like a big piece."
Yeah.
If my client had come to me and say like, which I've done it, plenty my clients out there knows, and I know it's a big project. It's a lot of money putting in one whole leg, one whole arm, and I have clients saying like, "Hey, I didn't know I have to spend 5 sessions." My way of working, I say to my clients, I don't rush it. Like if it takes like I don't work more than 5 hours because I have a problem with my wrist. But like if it takes me 6 sessions, we'll take it because it's quality. I don't want to just. I've seen people out there rushing tattoos and they just heal and look bad, and it's like, this is gonna be over you forever. And then if you come to me and say like, "Hey, it's the last session, I'm really struggle," I'll give you $200 discount.
Yeah, like, just let me know your budget.
Yeah.
If you have a budget, we can work within that. And I have done it,
Matty. Like, I work out there. I'm pretty sure you've done it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not just it's not like you just came in, walk into the studio. No, I've been working with you for over 5 sessions or more.
Yeah, so to just switch on someone because of $300.
Yeah,
It's like,
so that happened, but communication, and then my coworker did it amazing. She came back and explained it to the client. The client didn't know. She was like, oh, I didn't know this was like a rule.
yeah.
And I was like, it's not a rule, but it's more like respect.
Look, it's an unwritten rule.
Unwritten rule.
It is a big respect thing. Like, there's obviously no copyright or anything around us. But I think it's just out of respect for that person, because it is a project that I've been working on. It's like, if you came over to my house and stole one of my half-finished paintings and finished that, then I'd be like, well, it's not mine anymore. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, what did you do? Why'd you do that?
That's why we do collabs, guys.
Yes,
and that's
exactly.
a different thing. But no, misunderstanding, miscommunication. She came back to me. We finished the tattoo. Wasn't any weird situation, because you know sometimes when people go through that, they were like, oh I'm gonna have to see you again. 100%
like
comfortable. And I don't, you know me, I don't take things personal.
No.
I'm like,
and
done.
all it needed to be done was just to be sorted out and to talk between people and stuff like that.
And my coworker, God bless her, like, she didn't take it personal either.
That's good.
She ended up with a leg piece even bigger than mine.
Beautiful.
So it's like,
well, there you go. So it worked out in the end.
it worked out better. But yeah, that's definitely something that can happen out there.
It's the price conversation. It's very hard.
Yeah.
We know they're expensive, but when you think of it as it's an original piece of artwork, like, people sell their original art for any kinds of price. It goes for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And this is something that you can take to the grave. It's the only thing that you're going to take to the grave with you. So it's very...
in this position, do you think like art is very underrated in general? Like,
nowadays, I think it is,
because it's very easy to print and have fucking ChatGPT
they've got the AI and stuff now, which, you know, it is helpful at times. But, you know, you just don't know who's been using that and posting the AI prompt tattoos.
Have you used AI?
I've used it for paintings.
Paintings?
Yep.
Not for tattoo design?
Not for tattoos, no.
No.
Most of the time I sort of find the references that I need. And sometimes, like, the AI stuff is a little bit hit or miss. So if you do someone,
it's hard to tell, as much as they are super intelligent, it's hard to tell them your essence of your art.
Yeah, so it can get things pretty
it's good
close.
For reference.
Yeah, for reference is great. So I use that for a lot of my paintings, because then at least I feel like it's a little bit more original. Like, I'm not just...
So we're gonna put photos of his paintings. Amazing. If your tattoos are amazing, like, your paintings are like unreal.
I'm bad at finishing them. I get to a point and I'm
everyone
bored.
fuck we like I haven't studied so many paintings. I haven't studied so many books that I need to read.
I've got such a short attention span these days. It's bad. It's the social media.
I
start doom scrolling all the time.
I wish I can I'm gonna start doing, like, people recommend me as well, tattoo artists as well, like, get home and manage your social media like an office work.
Yeah.
You respond and reply emails and messages from 10, 11, whatever you start. Give it 5 hours. Turn off. Don't touch it.
Yeah, I need to.
It gets to the point that clients have been testing me at 11 p.m. at night. And I have replied there. And then my friends, I'll be in a party, so my friends like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just replying this client. It's been like a hot chat.
It's work. I got to book it in.
Sometimes we got
to work 24 hours a day.
But no, we need to change. We need to, for our mental health. Mental health is a thing now, so we need to treat it more like an office work kind of thing. But it's hard again. Like, if you get someone in the hotline, like, fuck, can you book? It's like, yes, deposit now.
Yeah, for me, it's the idea of, like, the quicker the better. And I've had a few people, like, get back to me and be like, oh, thank you so much for the fast reply. And I'm like, that's what I want. I want to be on top of things, and I don't want to get to a weekend or whatever and have 50 odd messages that I have to go through. Like, if I answer the one then and there, it's done. It's over and done with. I don't have a big chunk.
Isn't anything out there, like a program that you can set up and fucking let them reply their messages? And...
You can do the auto replies on Instagram.
Yeah, but it feels too.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's just because then I feel like if that has the reply or the response, then they might say, okay, no worries, and then you might just forget about it.
Yeah.
Or they don't reply to that, they just like that message, and then it's just like,
it happens to me all the time too.
So if you answer it then and there, it's done. It's booked in, you've sorted it out, it's easy.
Okay.
I don't want to be left with 20, 30 messages on a Sunday morning. You have to spend all the time doing that.
That's true. As a mentor, Matty, have you ever had cut ties with an apprentice? if so, why? Or what was the reason that you guys cut
I
ties?
think it was more just
It had happened?
it has happened.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Mm.
I think they just weren't my people.
Okay. You
And
didn't
then
vibe together.
nah, that was, and some of them could be a little bit tricky to work with. I'm not going to say hard because everybody has like earlier, everyone has their own way of learning.
Yeah.
But there was a few people. They ended up leaving the studio anyway. And they seemed to be doing well. And like I don't think anything badly of them or anything like that. But we just didn't get along. It just wasn't.
Which could happen.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a normal thing. And we hang around the people that we're most close with now. All of my apprentices or the guys that I've worked with. So they're kind of my people. These guys were just different personalities. And that's fine, and I do hope that they're doing well. It's good that they're still grinding and staying in the industry and staying on top of things, but sometimes it's just you just don't gel with people, and that's fine.
That's totally fine. Personalities, like, yeah.
There's a few that we would say the same. We just like, it's just they're not for us. Like,
That's true.
we've got our own little circle, so that's our people. So if you don't vibe with someone, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully I taught them enough and they got enough knowledge out of me because that was the job. So
Yeah.
as long as they're doing well, then I'm happy.
Do you think you are, as a mentor, you're very strict, or you lack more like flexible? Or if I, because I was never your apprentice, so I was like, how was Matty? From outside, when I saw you in the studio we were working, you look chill ass. Like you look
I
like
tried.
everyone
I
was
tried to be.
always happy to go to Matty and talk. But I saw as well, sometimes you could be under a lot of pressure and you could try to shut yourself.
Yeah,
And
I
it'll be like,
definitely there was breaking points where you just shut off and you just
which fair enough.
you want to go to work and you want to go home and this added extra was just putting more and more on top of me and more pressure, and it gets really hard. But it's a part of the job.
Yeah.
You're going to put that hard work in, and it's going to take a toll.
So what would you say was your style of teaching someone?
Look, I tried to be as chill as possible. I wanted it to be as comfortable for them to come and ask me for advice. I didn't want to, lash out if I was busy. Like I always wanted to make time for them. But when it did come down to certain things, like if I'm getting yelled at because they're not performing, then I have to kind of put the big boy pants on. Yes.
They did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were just taking orders from the higher ups. So just going down the line. So if they're not doing well, then we're getting yelled at, and that's why we have to sort of be a little bit more strict and be like, look, you need to stop fucking around. Like we've
How
got a
did
job
you feel
to do.
about that? Like someone being on top of
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was most of the time it was good. I think there was too much
expectations.
There was a lot of expectations that were getting a little bit hard to sort of fulfill. Like, well, if that person is a little bit slower, then that's not a problem. Like, just let them go at their own pace. Like you gotta, it's not an apprentice factory, which is what it started to become.
I think that's how, unfortunately, like a lot of studios, even more big studios that are franchises now, it's treating people like numbers, and like
it's just getting more people. We'll
it's
teach them
sad
as
though.
quickly as possible so that we can start making more money. Like,
It's
we'll just keep
sad.
doing that.
Exactly, it's sad because I'm seeing these studios jumping, getting an apprentice in, fucking fill them up like McDonald's chickens video when they fucking inject them with like probiotics. I don't know, they look massive, and then put it out for the field, and they start to make them like work. And even if they're like, of course, charging less because they're apprentices, I'm seeing that they make them, and I hear it from owners, tattoo studio owners, saying like, she fucking need to start tattooing, I need money from her.
Yep.
Like,
it takes the passion out of it. It takes the personal growth and everything out of what it should be. It's not, okay, you just need to start learning to make money. Like,
it should come back to the value of like
grow.
art.
I want to create this new generation, and it's just,
which I don't
rough.
get it too, because in their position they're like, well, they're being my tattoo apprentices for 9 months. Now they have to make money. I like, first at all, you didn't pay them for 9 months. So they were doing the rough job for cleaners and all these things.
It was a lot of work.
Oh, Jesus. I saw them coming at 9 a.m., leaving at 9 p.m. And I was like, fucking...
That's too much.
What? 0 payments. They're literally working for you for free. Yes, they get in knowledge. And for me, I always will say there's nothing more value than knowledge. But why you make them feel like now you have to pay me back?
Yeah,
when
right.
they're being part of you, essential, and it's such a big part of any studio. Like, I think as well, mentors and tattoo artists of the old school looking over the shoulder, like making very little. And I'm like, fuck, you have the opportunity to come to work, find everything set up, spotless and clean for you, which is something like now I work in mix of them. Like, I work in areas that at first time when I go to this studio, they were like, oh, we'll do it for you. We'll set it up, everything. We'll set you a machine. And I was like, I was sorry. I was like,
yeah,
no.
it starts feeling a bit weird.
I was like, no, I'll do it. And they were like, almost like, no, we'll do it. I have to do it. And I'm like, okay, but it's all right. Like, I can set it up.
I think the setting up aspect isn't too bad.
Yeah, it's helpful, 100%.
I think it definitely helps, especially with you were doing, because you were more like, sometimes you'll have days where you're doing like 3 or 4 tattoos in the one day. So it just helps with keeping that flow with the clients coming in. It's also a really good learning experience for them to make sure that everything's clean, everything's set up the way that it should be, and then they start to learn, like, okay, sweet, when I set up eventually, this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I want my things, and this is how I like it organized. The one thing that really got me was certain artists yelling across the studio for something as simple as like, I need my soap filled up, or like, I need paper towel. Like, I'm sure you can just get up and go get it yourself.
Yeah, demanding.
It's very demanding. I think they overused it a little bit. So,
I saw that a couple of times, and I was brave enough to stand up and say done.
Yep.
Like, or even just say please and thanks.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It's just basic as that.
But yelling at them from across the studio, and it was aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, they're running around doing everything else. They're looking after, what was it, like 20 odd artists or something like that? Like,
2 levels.
There's a lot of people. So, they might be busy doing something else. They might have been told to do something else, or given orders from me, or, they're trying to do their own thing, and then they're getting screamed at from across the studio. And I think that's not a very good look as a studio either for clients, because it's like, it's a bit.
It make every time something like that happens, clients will look at each other like, what the fuck is happening? And or we'll be like, sometimes I will hear like, what are you doing? And they're like, fucking like a chicken.
Yeah.
They were like, what? And they were like, you shouldn't be doing that. Come here. And I was like, they're not fucking 6 years old kids.
It's not necessary. I think it's just that abuse of power with certain people, and
that happened a lot.
Like, they needed to take the time to actually speak to these guys and understand how hard of a job it is and how exhausted they were. Yeah. Like you said, 9 till 9 is insane. Yeah. For nothing, for no money.
For no money. What do you think about that?
I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
I think if the workload was a little bit less, then it would have made a bit of sense, but they were just on their feet all the time. They didn't have time to draw anything. They couldn't even watch.
And that get me back to what I'm saying. Like, 9 months is a lot for just cleaning and doing things around. Like, I get it. Like, the apprenticeship as it is should be a year if you need to. Yeah. But just cleaning windows around the studio, cleaning the dust. Like, don't make them do it.
And yes, the shop does need to be clean. We want a sterile environment, but some of this stuff was so far fetched. Like, clean the apartment upstairs. Like, just
that's not part of my
really weird.
What I'm gonna learn from tattooing, cleaning fucking
clean all the bird shit up on the patio. Like, what?
No,
it's not necessary.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
So there's certain jobs I agree. Like, you need to put that hard work in, and there was in my apprenticeship, there was that similar thing. Like, but instead of, I still had to do a bit of the cleaning, and this was when I had to do all the titanium grips and stuff like
the
that.
grip in the machine and everything.
That was rough, because you had to do that, and you had to do the floors, and you had to clean everything. But I was also doing like the front desk as well, so doing the money, counting the tills, and
you have to do that as well.
and selling like tattoo equipment, because I had a little tattoo equipment shop in there as
aftercare
well,
and all the stuff.
and piercings and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of work to it, but it wasn't 2 levels.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
pretty insane.
It was pretty hectic. I'm gonna come back again to what we were talking about the mentors nowadays. How they're just too many mentors. We don't know about quality, how it comes. Do you feel like this new mentorship then just bypassing all the learning process and maybe learning through YouTube? Maybe learning to I've just seen these people that open like a little garage, come learn how to tattoo, and they charge for it.
Those things, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think they're awful. They're very bad. I think with my apprenticeship, they had something kind of similar. It was like a pre-apprenticeship sort of thing.
Okay.
So I had to pay for mine.
Oh, yeah, when I asked about that.
It was like $800.
Okay.
So I'm grateful for my mum who paid for it at the time, because I was 17. I wasn't making much money.
And your mom paid for your tattoo?
Yep,
wow.
she really wanted me to do it, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
But that was obviously a bit of a scam. So he had his own little like academy.
Yeah.
He would call it an academy.
Yeah.
And he would have people come in and learn how to tattoo in that studio. And I just feel like it's a bad idea. Like, you need to go and work in a studio. I was lucky enough to be able to. I got invited. I brought my portfolio in, and I got to be in shop whenever I wanted. I got to watch and learn and everything like that. And then once I hit 18, that's when they put me on the machines and stuff. So they gave me a little bit of a front of house job to begin with, and that was great. You get to learn different things, and you learn how to talk to clients and run kind of like the booking side of things, which was cool.
Communication with your clients.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely learned a lot from that. But I think I would only ever trust somebody coming in, showing a portfolio, bonus points for being tattooed at that studio. I think being around that, then the artists get to know you.
Emerge to the vibe and everything.
I think going to somebody who you can apprentice under and getting tattooed by them, it shows a lot more. It shows that you want to be there and you want to learn from this particular person. Some people don't accept apprentices. Some people, you might get lucky and they're like, yeah, sweet. Like, I love your drawings. You just...
So would you agree that even like, I know you say you have to pay for the apprenticeship. Would you agree if nowadays you have to, someone asks you, hey, can I be can you be my mentor? Would you allow them to pay you if they ever offer you? No. I
wouldn't take it.
We'll just do it because you want to teach someone and see how they grow and everything.
I think that also comes back down to like, do I have to pay them? Like, do I need to pay them? So like, pay them for the
too
work,
much responsibility
like
kind of thing. Like, because you're paying me, I need to give you this much.
So if you come to a good like kind of an agreement with that person, like obviously you get through the portfolio stage, and they might bring it into you and be like, this is my portfolio, I'm looking for an apprenticeship. You give them some advice, because like I feel like it's pretty rare to be taken on straight away, not only because if they maybe have a spot filled already, or they're not willing to take anyone on at the moment, they might be too busy, or they might travel too much, like all that kind of stuff. But I think you get past that portfolio stage, get the advice that you need, bring that back when that's all implemented and you get everything organized, then you work under a specific person. But you just need to make sure that person's the right fit for you, and they're doing the style that you want to do as well. It's a big important thing. So
and again, coming back to what you said before, you prefer to do it one by one. Like you did get paid when you were at the studio because you were managing 6-7 people,
too many,
which is a lot of pressure. But if you face one by one, you just want to check who it is and have a comfortable relationship with that person.
And I think that's how you're going to get the best out of that artist.
True.
And the best out of that apprentice is if you gel well, you do similar style, you know how to teach them, and you know how it all works. And but again, it just starts with a portfolio. If you have a good portfolio, then you shouldn't have any issues finding a place.
Cool. So saying that will be saying that you don't agree with the tattoo schools that are coming nowadays.
I hate them.
What's your opinion, tattoo schools?
It's just, don't do it. Because the people that run those things are out for money. They want your money, and that's it.
It sounds a little bit like a pyramid scam.
It is.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like that ink and sip that they brought out. Don't get me started.
We should do
on
it.
that. No.
With a piece of pig,
I'm not gonna
apples.
support that business. I'm not gonna support that
That's
kind of thing.
insane.
It's
I
just,
saw that on someone's Instagram.
it's
Ink, what is it?
ink and sip.
Ink and sip.
I think it's more towards the bottomless alcohol and working with needles. I think
That doesn't go together.
Doesn't go
well.
together.
No.
No, I feel like I probably hate it a little bit less if there wasn't alcohol involved.
Okay.
Like, a paint and sip, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
cool.
It's half.
But
It's fun.
you're working with needles. And there was a thing that I read, and it was like if you're doing one of those like cook and sip, have you seen those before?
No.
So you just go and like you cook things.
Yeah.
But I think they have a limit of like one alcoholic drink, or else you can't
Yeah,
use
because you're
a
gonna
knife.
cut yourself
Yeah.
or burn.
So it's that
stuff.
similar thing, but they're doing bottomless alcohol.
Ink and sip.
It just takes one
fuck on
person
with
to be
this
like, hey. Just,
yeah. And you
don't
just
want
see
that.
all
It's
these
so
people.
unsafe. It's very unsafe, and it's teaching people like, oh, I can go get a machine online and I'll start doing my friends.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I make a nice happy face circle. I can become a tattoo artist now. And we just start doing all these random garage tattoos.
And that's no
Scary.
offense to people who have done it. Like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's just as an artist, and same to you as an artist. Like we respect the industry, and we respect how to get into it, and the risks involved with starting it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. It's not as easy as doing it.
No, that's what a lot of my friends, I don't know if it happened to me, a lot of my friends would come and say like, oh, what about if we would start drinking? And they were like, oh, you have your tattoo machine? Bring it out. Let's get tattoos. And I'm like, no. I don't know if you've done it with two friends, like you started them.
Oh, I have. Don't you worry.
Back in the
I've
day.
definitely done it.
But yeah, not even like.
But it's just so unsafe. There's too much of a risk, and you don't want to be hurting your friends, and giving people certain things that they don't want, and most of them are very regretful too. But it just comes down to being safe. Like it's very dangerous if you're not like taught the right way, or you're not knowledgeable in that kind of thing. So. You got to be careful. Yeah,
and I think I heard once about tattoo schools that probably the main problem, which I didn't saw before, but it's like the people that is, how can I say, the artists that is teaching in these tattoo schools, they're probably not the best because they have the most free time to do so. Yes.
Maybe they're not doing too well in the industry.
And it's like a little side work and job.
It's great to have a side hustle.
But,
like, it's the people that are using the industry for money.
It gets to a point. I get if you get as a high hustle, and that's totally fine, like merch or whatever. But now you're putting information that it probably not be the right one or the best for someone. It's like a little ice ball, a snowball. Yeah. And it keeps growing and growing.
Getting worse. Bad habits are taught, and more and more people are getting sick from it, or their tattoos end up getting really bad. And
I've seen it out there heaps. Even more weird and specific is that like little line
little fine line ones.
Fine line. Yep. The amount of people, like the amount of ads and like little mentors that I seen doing a fine line. How do they call it? Schools. Yeah. And then it's for a weekend or something, and then using the lines, and I'm like,
a week's not enough.
No.
You can't just teach someone in a week.
You just like pay whatever, and they like. But I think it happens a lot in this kind of a style, fine line.
Yeah.
The people go learn for a weekend, whatever, and then start tattooing.
And I think, look, if you're struggling to find a shop to work at as an apprentice, then I can see how that's very enticing. Like, oh, I just pay some money and then I can go and learn how to do it because I really want to do it. But like, what are you really going to learn?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's too quick of a time period, and there's a lot of knowledge that you need to do the best that you can and be as safe as you can doing it. So. And I don't necessarily agree with them.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Like if you can't find a place, then you want to get your toes in the industry.
True.
It's something at least, but I think just doing it the right way, just getting a good portfolio set up and just work around, just trying to find a place that fits you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Can be tricky though.
That. That's true. Well, to wrap up this episode, I'm going to ask you a question that I've been asking to all my guests. Is any horror stories with a client through these years? Funny, could be funny, could be scary, could be like the hell.
I've got two, but I think the second one I won't talk about because it's a little bit too specific.
Yeah, okay.
And I think
we don't need to talk about it.
I don't want to embarrass anybody. Or, like obviously,
no,
you
that's right.
you don't have to say a
Again,
name.
we don't have to put names and anything.
I think he would still know. So I'll keep that one out.
Okay, that's all right.
One that I had was it was my first ever pass out during a tattoo.
Okay.
Was working at the studio that I'm working at now. Before I moved on to the other shop, and this young kid came in wanting his first tattoo. He drew it up himself. He's a little bit of an artist, and it was a just a little like inner pinky kind of tattoo.
It's always outlines. With the small tattoos.
It's always the small ones. But
big guys, small tattoos.
Yeah, just they hurt. They suck. But he drew his own design, and that's what he wanted. Perfect. It was like, I'd say probably 7 lines all up. It was a little rose, like pretty easy, like no stress. So give him the rundown, being that I think he was just freshly 18, first experience in a shop. Have you had something to eat? Make sure you get some sugar into you during it. Have you had plenty of sleep? Just making sure that he was okay. And we got to, I think I had probably like 3 lines left, and I'm talking like tiny little lines. And he was sitting facing this way, and I'm tattooing like this. I have my hat down. I have, big hat guy, so I had that there. Lamp was in the way, armrest, machine, everything like that. And I thought he was going to like grab a drink. So he had his pinky up, sort of like this, and I thought he was going to grab his drink next to him, and he just kept going. Just
on top of you?
No, not on top of me. Just because he was facing that way, and I was facing this way, and he just like face first into the concrete, and I was just, oh my God.
And that was your first experience with someone fainting?
First ever pass out experience.
How did you react to that?
It was that bad. Look, we had to obviously make sure he was okay, get him up off the ground. We put him on one of the tattoo beds, the one that sort of leans up a little bit.
Laid him down.
And then we just gave him a bit of sugar, gave him some time, and we later found out that he had like half a piece of toast.
Yeah, you guys have to eat before you get tattoos.
But he recovered. We finished. He was more than happy to finish it off once we got some sugar back into him, and we obviously made sure he was okay. There was nothing wrong. And then he ended up coming back a few more times after that. Good. So good on him for that. He was a trooper. But
were you nervous when he felt like, what the fuck what I'm gonna do?
It's you're a part of that. It's not like you just did it randomly. Like you're doing the procedure that's causing him to do that, and you might think it's you might like, what have I done? Like, was I going in too
even
hard?
More the first ones? Once you like pass number 3 guy then fainted, whatever, like, you're again.
You know the procedures, but we want to care for these people.
100%.
Like it's the duty of care that we have to provide for these guys, because it's a procedure, it's a medical
100%.
procedure. So when things like that happen, we do care and we do worry. So it's a scary thing. But I think once you have a few more, you sort of get used to it, and you know the right way to handle it.
That's true. I actually had one of the funniest moments present that someone fainted. No, I mean, it was funny from my side, but
was it funny?
Yeah. it was scary and funny.
I'm sitting there being sympathetic over my client. You're like, oh, it was really funny.
I mean, it is funny, but like, so my story, it was like, I wasn't tattooing the client. It was just me and my coworker.
Yep.
And then this guy came in, and he first tattoo again. He was like probably 20 plus something. But he came in with a very cocky attitude. He was like, oh, like, I want this small tattoo. He wants like a cross in his finger. No,
Sick.
Little, Sick. 2 lines. One long, one short. But the way of speaking, he was like, oh, one of my friends got like a whole sleeve 2 days ago, and he was like, he was a pussy, and like he was crying, and he almost fainted, blah blah. He had that.
I see where this story's going.
Yeah. And I was okay. He had a drink in his hand. He was drinking. Put the stencil. My coworker started doing a line, and he was like, "Oh wait, I really need to go to the toilet."
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Okay, yeah, toilet's just right there." Went to the toilet. A few seconds after, bang, like a massive splash. And I was like, what happened? So we run to the bathroom. I opened the door. The first thing I saw was him in the toilet. And he was like facing up, like he fell down.
Oh, shit.
One of the mirrors like fell on top of him. Luckily it didn't break. And then he had all his shirt was red. Like all red.
Shit.
All around. And then I was like, I thought he threw up and I can't handle vomit. If I thought vomit, I'll vomit on top of you. So I opened the door and I closed the door and I was like, Betty, your client is in the toilet. I couldn't manage it.
How did he not die? What the fuck?
I know. So he come in and he was like, fuck, he has blood. Like we thought, like he was all red.
Because he was red.
Yeah. And I was like, what happened? Like, is blood? What is going on? We move him, give him a little bit of alcohol to smell and walk him out. And he was like, you all right, mate? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm just chilling. Just chilling. And then my coworker was like, man, you just passed out in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are you all right? Like,
trying to play it off is insane.
yeah,
I'm
he was like,
I'm chill.
just chilling.
I just want to lay down.
It was so funny. And I was like, what is the red thing? And he ended up because he bought one of the slippery things from like a 7-Eleven, the red drinks.
Right.
So he threw up the same red liquid and it looks like blood.
Damn.
Oh man, it was a lot.
Died.
Yeah, it was a
Mirror
lot.
fall on him.
Yeah, and like
crazy.
falling out like in the middle of the bathroom. It was insane. But yeah, those things happen.
Did he finish the tattoo?
He actually, yes.
Nice.
He cleaned himself.
Good for him.
Again, make him a stable
I'd be too
seat.
embarrassed. I would have gone home.
Fucking was one line.
I would have paid the artist to be like, no, see ya. You'd have never seen me again.
Yeah. It was just one line to finish. It was like, geez. But yeah, those things
on
happen.
him.
It's all right. Yeah.
It's okay. We don't judge.
Yeah.
We judge for...
We listen, we don't judge.
Yes, exactly right. It's...
No, but that's it is. And again, we're just going to wrap it up now. Thanks, Marty, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love having you. Thanks for opening up about all your experiences as a mentor.
Anytime. I always love talking about it and I love hanging out with friends. So
yeah, it's
a good
amazing.
combo.
Thanks for having us. And we have a little mascot in here.
Yes, I did see.
And I'd like you to sign it.
You just give me a colour and I'll do it.
I'll do black. I want it to pop up.
Right.
So yeah, you can put a message.
I'll cross out this one.
Put a message to hashtag any of them. It's up to you. Yes, thank guys to be with us. This is Blank Canvas and we're gonna see you all in the next episode. We're gonna put all social media in here. Again, go check Matty's work. It's amazing. And thanks for coming in. The tequila shot.
Just made a tradition for you now.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna use it now. For now. We have an in. How do you feel? Good? Yeah.